Hey everyone, welcome back to StrataGames. I'm Matthew, and today on Simple Strategy, I'm happy to say that we're talking about one of my favorite games of all time. This is Seven Wonders by Antoine Bauza. What I like about this game is that it's easy to learn, it's quick to play, but it still has tons of different strategy options. Now with Seven Wonders, you can play with 3 players all the way up to 7, and your strategy might differ depending on how many players you're playing with. So I'm going to focus on tips that are mostly relevant no matter how many players you have. There is one important exception though. If you're playing with fewer than 7 players, you're going to see at least one hand 2 times in each era. If you plan out your picks correctly, you can sometimes get 2 cards that you wanted from the same hand. The best cards in the first era are going to be the dual resource cards. I would say followed closely by the trading post and marketplace cards. Resources are good at every point in the game, and these will help you either get resources or make resources really cheap for you to acquire. You'll notice that some of the best Era 2 cards are very similar as well. The double resources, with Forum and Caravansary also following a close second. These are all really important because at the end of the second era, there are no more resource cards available to you. And everything in Era 3 costs a fortune. So if you want to be able to play Palace, you're going to want to stock up early. Alright, now let's go over all the different ways you can get points. The biggest ones are going to be Science, Military, Civic, and Wonder Points. But I would be careful not to go too hard in any one of these categories. If you go hard on Science and get a huge win, your -6 military points are really going to make that look weak. Alright, and now I got some tips on how to best balance these categories. For Science, it's best if you start with a luxury resource, especially if your opening hand has the matching Science card for it. These can be expensive, but because they build off of each other in later eras, it's not as bad as it looks. I would say the minimum amount of Science cards you need to have for it to be worth your while is 5. Preferably 6, 2 of each. That way you're getting a solid 32 points off of it without spending too much time. Now for military, you don't have to get a perfect 18 points in order to do well in military. Sometimes all you have to do is get a measly 1 or sometimes even 0. Keep in mind that tying is not always a bad thing. If you're keeping yourself from getting negatives while also keeping your neighbors from getting positives, all while building up your Science empire, you're getting way ahead of your opponents. Now Wonder Points are heavily dependent on your Wonder, obviously. But especially combined with other bonuses like gold on Ephesus, those few extra points here and there can definitely make the difference in the endgame. Civic points may be boring, but they're good. They're fairly cheap, they build off of other Civic cards and Science cards, and they're just straightforward points. I would not underestimate these at all. That's all I've got for now. But next time, I'm going to be going wonder by wonder and show you exactly which strategies go best with each wonder. You've just leveled up. Thank you so much for watching Simple Strategy. If you like our videos, consider subscribing and tune in every Monday for a new video.